Welcome back to Be For Real, guys. I am your host, Brian, and as always, we are here with another fun, exciting episode, and I have a great panel with me today. I have Riley all the way on my right, Drew directly to my right, and Caden directly to my left. Everyone is returning. I'm excited about that, which means we have no reason to do intros, so we don't care what your history is.
Not at all.
I'm joking. We care each and every one of you, except on this show where we just want to take your hot takes and hear your hot takes. So, let's start off. Who wants to start with a hot take? We're going to start with my favorite and classic section, or whatever it's called. I can't remember it right now. Let's be real. Who would like to start with their hot take?
Denver Nuggets should hire Sky Bree as their head coach.
Right off the bat, just turns it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sky Bree.
Yeah, so Sky Bree.
Caden, this is stupid.
Sky Bree is an Instagram model. Okay, and I want to say first of all a little disclaimer. Okay, I went ahead and I googled Instagram models. I recognize the name. If she's involved in some other more controversial endeavors, I don't want to talk about that.
He knew about that.
That's where I saw her. Yeah. No, but so basically, I'm coupling two things. It's the Bill Simmons take from the Book of Basketball. He had a whole chapter on it, on how NBA coaches are just big egos that come into guys that already know ball and know how to play together, and they just tell them, hey, do this, this, and this, and just try to add their system because they think you're so much smarter, and it usually doesn't work. And if you just let players play at the NBA level, the collegiate level, this is ridiculous, okay? A model that's ridiculous. But at the NBA level, it makes sense, okay? They know ball enough, they understand the game well enough, and I think a player coach would be successful. That was my original take. I have like 12 in my notes app, and that NBA should do player coaches was just a little too boring. But then I was thinking about the Jordan Poole situation and how they had the attractive girls sit courtside and how the Warriors planted them, allegedly, to get Jordan Poole to play better. And I thought, what if you just coupled those two ideas and made it so one Instagram model was your NBA, your coach? Jokic is the team captain. He controls the flow of the game on the court. He's in the locker room telling guys, hey, I don't really care. Maybe it'll work for you too. I don't know what you'd be saying.
Let me get back to my horses.
Exactly. Let me get back to my horses. Exactly. Yeah. And then, yeah, that's the
Money
that's the
goes
take.
up, tickets are sold
Yeah,
more.
more merchandise, or yeah, more not merchandise. Ticket sales go up. NBA viewership. This might fix the NBA.
Maybe they put her face on a shirt and
Put
people
your face
start
on
buying
a shirt,
it.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Courtside tickets, you could charge like $20,000. I don't know how.
Sit right behind Sky Bree.
Exactly. Yeah. You could put like on the ticket master thing. Sky Bree could be in like a red dot. You know, just like this is where she'll be. Yeah, exactly.
At all times, this is where she walks.
Yeah, exactly.
The Jordan Poole effect, as they call it.
The OG Anunoby now effect. It is Jordan Poole effect. It's become OG Anunoby. Someone else had it, like Austin Reeves.
There's no
Luka may have had it at one point.
There's no statistical data, but like I'm a guy, and I've been a guy for 19 years now.
Pretty hard to.
Attractive girls are watching.
I didn't think that.
Men play basketball better. Men play better.
I have seen this firsthand from
Yes,
my
of
friends.
course, yeah.
But I don't agree with the take.
Yeah, this is.
I love the idea. I love the out of thought idea, and it's a great hot take, especially for this show, which is hilarious. It's like I feel like at that point you could just pay her seat and be like, it could be like the Sky Bree seat or the Instamodel seat or the Brecky Hill seat or the Livy Dunn seat, like whatever you
You're
want.
naming a lot, man. You're really rattling these off.
We had a long discussion. But no, like you can name off and just like buy like a row. Like imagine if you just set up a row.
Dude, that would be so funny.
At the same time, for me, I think that'd be hilarious. But at the same time, for me, I think it also is a fact of if you do have that in the first place, even just the Instagram model there or any pretty girl there, all of a sudden now it's a 1v1, V1, 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 V5. Like everyone wants to play 1v1, and you're just going to destroy team chemistry. You're not going to do well. And it's just like your team won't succeed because a lot about this NBA is that you have to be able to play 5v5. Mm-hmm. A lot of players, one great example is Cam Reddish, can play 1v1, but he cannot play 5v5. For whatever reason, he can't succeed.
Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to
He just can't succeed 5v5. So for me, I think it's just too much of a team sport where if you have that distraction there, as much as it improves one or two players' ability to go to score the basket, there's like 5,000 other different facets to the basketball game.
I see what you're saying. I respect that opinion.
I mean, yeah, I don't have anything to add. I agree.
I think it's stupid. Just.
I think you're stupid.
They turn into the
I
Charlottes.
think you're underestimating the role that coaches have, and some girl just can't
I think I'm estimating.
throw it into the coaching job.
All of a sudden, it's just like a bunch of Jordan Pooles on one team.
Yeah, like.
Basically, you get the Wizards.
Like
I
maybe.
think for some teams it would turn into like AAU basketball.
Like maybe
Like
this maybe this could work for the Lakers just because LeBron is basically the coach there, but not anywhere else.
I just imagine you add like Jordan Poole, LaMelo Ball, OG Anunoby, What, like Bam? I don't know who the big guys are.
JJ Redick on the Lakers is what made me want to do the player coach, because I feel like NBA teams are going to start doing that. Just bringing in a guy that just retired that just knows ball and be like, you're a player. Like just have a locker room full of basically players, because a coach. Yeah, we don't need a 50-year-old man telling
just need a
Jokic where he's supposed to pass the ball. Yeah, we don't need someone telling a player where to cut.
Someone asked Sky Bree. So is LeBron going to be healthy, or like is Jokic going to be healthy?
Press conferences after.
Someone's going to ask her that, and she's going to respond. Just check the link in the bio.
Just imagine the post-game press conference.
You'll see it on my Instagram content.
My link tree. Go to my link tree.
I had a lot of.
Go to my Bisco. Anyway,
yeah.
Me?
Who would like to go next? I don't know who's going to go next. Who would like to go next?
I'm going to go with semi-trucks should be banned from the highway. I could write an entire essay about this. I can't stand semi-trucks. For someone who travels on 85 back and forth a lot from Georgia to here, and like the 2-lane highway, and like there's always a semi-truck in my lane, in the left lane, always a semi-truck in the left lane going 60 miles an hour for no reason. And then there's another semi-truck right next to it. So I'm just stuck behind 2 semi-trucks for like 15 minutes.
Why are you in the left lane?
You're a loser.
Why are you in the left lane? Get out of that lane.
You're in a semi-truck, and the truck next to you is a semi-truck, and you decide to go the same speed as them for like an hour. You're a loser.
You're such a loser.
Okay, yeah, like that's insane. I'd rather sit at a green light behind a car that's on their phone than deal with you.
And like the anxiety I feel whenever I'm next to a semi truck, because I'm in their blind spot and they could just get right on over and just crush me.
Yeah. I personally like semi trucks. Now, whether I know if they're safer or not to be behind, I don't know. But personally, for me, I like traveling behind them because it's a constant pace. They don't usually slow down too much, and if they do slow down, they usually slow down before even regular cars do. So then it causes you to slow down quicker as well. It like reduces accidents in my eyes when I drive. Now at the same time, I do hate people that sit there and decide to be like, I'm not gonna pass the semi truck, I'm just gonna drive beside them, and I'm like, at that point, what are you doing? Like, that's stupid.
And
like,
never
why?
drive beside a car on the highway. Like if I'm in 2 lanes, it doesn't matter how like fast or whatever, just in case someone wants to come behind and go faster than me. Like never.
I don't know. I just don't think the semi truck should get the hate. I think the people that drive beside them,
Semi-trucks either need to be destroyed, like extinct completely, or they build a separate highway for
it's
them.
what the current.
But I'd be so mad if I'm in like Atlanta and there's another highway that's wide open.
But it's the modern way that corporate America is built upon. It is the foundation.
Corporate America can chill. It gets a little too fast. We can calm down.
Well, semi trucks, you're respected by me. By others, I don't know, but by me.
Never heard of that before. I like semi.
Brian likes everything.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, the optimistic and the pessimistic.
Yeah, the list.
Ooh, please get
No, but go ahead, Drew. I will let you go next, and then I'll wrap us up.
All right.
So I was curious about the other one.
Going back to the sports sides of things, I have SMU/Clemson is going to be a rivalry like Georgia/Tennessee for the next 20 years. And I know this person to my right.
20 years is crazy.
No, I mean within like the 20-year period, it's gonna be like evenly split. There's gonna be games that are
Braves are 2-8.
Very yes.
2-8.
Riley's watching the Braves game. She's got it on the.
Oh my
I've been
gosh.
watching, and they just beat the Phillies. So.
And speaking of Riley, she's also a Georgia fan. So
I
she'll have a lot
grew
to
up a
say.
UGA fan, then came to Clemson, but I just can't. With rivalries depend so much on media presence, and this would not get any media presence, I feel like, and it just doesn't compare to the SEC media presence that like Georgia and Tennessee would.
It'd be an underrated rivalry. It'd be one of those that like real football fans are like, oh, I'm watching this one, I'm so excited. But then it's at like 3:30 and we're all pissed. You know, it's like it wouldn't get game day and like 4-3 Texas A&M versus Auburn would, and we'd be like, are you kidding me? You know, it'd be one of those things and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's tough because any rivalry has to be carried, especially with Clemson. And I love Clemson, and Clemson is a huge program. In the recent years, it is one of the blue bloods in recent years.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they also have an 81 championship, but right now it is pretty much tied with any other top program. You want to talk Alabama, Georgia, with accolades. Like that's just who they are. The problem is that I don't think, based on the media, they carry enough to carry a rivalry game or like an SMU game. You have to have someone else that has a little bit of media hold as well, like an FSU, like a UNC, and you have to pair them in order for that to get the media attention to be a rivalry.
Like in odds and like gambling odds to host College Game Day, Georgia Tennessee would be way above.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long do you think Georgia's gonna be?
I think that's a little dumb. Like I think it'll be like if you have 8-0 Georgia, 8-0 Tennessee, 8-0 Clemson, 8-0 SMU might be a thing frequently. And then it'll be like, this is the SEC's harder. It'd be like a 5-3 Georgia, 6-2 Tennessee gets game day over undefeated Clemson and SMU.
Well, who was the rivalry that like this past year that like it was Texas, and Georgia blows them out of the water, but everyone's like, oh, it's such a great rivalry. Granted, they were top ranked. They were like 1 versus 2.
That's not a rivalry.
But
it'll become.
People will call anything a rivalry.
yeah, this one I think will be though because it started based on a 2? Yeah. How far was the field goal? I can't remember off the top of my head.
56 yards.
56-yard field goal by a freshman to beat them in the ACC championship. That is where a rivalry starts.
Yes.
That is where a rivalry starts.
I think within 20 years, it will have the same media coverage as a Georgia.
I disagree.
I think it'll be like I think it'll be one of those things where in 20 years there's an Instagram or whatever app that is post that's like Clemson SMU overall record, Georgia Tennessee, and ours is better, and everyone's like that's shocking. I think it's gonna be one of those rivalries where it's like low key this was better and stuff, but the SEC gets too much attention.
The last thing that I'll say before switching is that the best rivalries are always based off of rooted grounds, not manufactured media attention.
Yeah.
Manufactured media attention like a Georgia Tennessee, I don't think it's as good of a rivalry as Clemson SMU could be because of the rooted grounds. I don't know any history.
Just SEC.
Yeah.
I want to say
again, media manufactured.
Again, this isn't like I would never say this on like my podcast, you know, Double Doink, shout out to Double Doink, watch Double Doink, or like I would never say this on an extra point. This is very be for real, hot takey. Miami UNC might become that rivalry with Bill Belichick coming in.
I think they were also
they had
there
a lot
too.
of money
Before
they brought in Carson Beck and stuff, and I know we have to move on, dude.
No, you're good.
Give me 20 seconds, Carson Beck. I swear to God.
I hate Carson Beck.
Anytime I talk to college football fans, it's freshman to sophomore to junior to senior. There's so much development that happens. People decide if they don't like the player, he's never getting better. If they like the player, he's gonna go crazy next year.
I can
and
agree
Carson
with that.
Beck's a perfect example.
Carson Beck stinks.
Carson Beck is a junior to senior. Cade Klubnik is a sophomore to junior. I think Beck can do a similar thing this year. And
Stinky.
he went to Miami, cheated on his girlfriend, and the U is back, and it's amazing. I love it. It's perfect. And I'll stop there.
7th floor rap team or rap
Athlete
gang,
versus
whatever it was.
convicts, all that stuff. All right, you got it. My bad.
What's up? What's your name, G. Greg? Yeah. Okay, you should just look up that one later. The 7th floor Miami rap football team. But I'm gonna stay on sports. I usually don't like having hot takes that revolve around sports. But this weekend was history, especially for me as a Capitals fan, that I could not pass up the opportunity to talk about a hot take.
Oh.
A lot of people talking. Alex Ovechkin broke the record for most NHL goals scored in a career, passing the great one, Wayne Gretzky. As I like to say, which I wish was the call, was the great 8 now stands alone as the great 1 sits at number 2. That would have been my call for the score, but it wasn't. But here my hot take. Yeah, I did.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. That's what I thought. I was like, I could be an announcer. It's almost like I'm doing this for a major. So what I wrote was that Ovechkin is better than LeBron, and not specific. Personally, I also think. Overall, we're gonna compare this. At hockey, yes. At basketball, I would still say Ovi's better. At soccer, I'd say Ovi's better because Ovi scored a goal. He's coming after Ronaldo now. But
It's closer than we are.
yes. So Ovechkin to me, he is a brilliant player. 20 years. It is insane. LeBron, again, 20 years. He's 40 years old. Ovechkin's 39. LeBron now broke Kareem, now 2 years ago? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, maybe 3 years, 2022. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time.
23 was on my birthday.
Yeah.
23.
Happy birthday.
But either way, it is 2 records that many people thought were unbreakable. Most points ever scored in the NBA, most goals ever scored in the NHL. They're very similar in like their career path, long time, champion at least once, so forth. But I heard on First Take just a few days ago, it's the Sub-Nader is like his tag, and I can't remember what his name is right now. The hockey player, Subban, PK Subban. He is a well-known defensive man that played, I believe, for the Nashville Predators.
There's a team called the Predators.
It is the team. You ever seen Ice Age?
Yeah.
It's like the tiger, saber-tooth.
Okay.
That's what it looks like, but they're called the Predators. It's PK Subban, I think is how you pronounce it. I apologize if I'm messing it up. And I love him, great announcer. And they were debating Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith for whose record was more impressive. And in my opinion, I believe Ovechkin's all-time goal record is more impressive than LeBron beating Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Let me guess. Stephen A is on your side.
No, Stephen A. and Shannon both said LeBron's were more impressive.
LeBron? I mean,
They got in a heated argument.
Stephen A hates LeBron.
I think, isn't Gretzky's assist record the unbreakable one? His goals record,
Yeah.
I think he just happened to be first.
His points is 2,758, and the next highest is like 1,800.
Yeah.
At that.
Yeah,
and points
exactly.
includes goals,
and
assists, stuff like that.
assists,
Yeah.
I think his assist record is the one that's like unbreakable, and the points record is just he holds it.
Points is both of them are unbreakable. And he has
No,
like the
I'm sorry,
fifth.
goals, because Ovi passed the goals.
No, they thought his goals were unbreakable. Because Gordie Howe, the next highest was 801.
I think points and assists for Gretzky is a much more ridiculous stat than goals. I think goals is more akin to the NBA scoring record, and points and assists is more like one of the most unbreakable records in sports. You know, like
Correct.
the most consecutive MLB games played or whatever, it was like 2,000 or whatever it was and stuff like that. You know?
But I believe Ovechkin's record, it's tough to say which one would be broken quicker because LeBron's doesn't seem to be slowing down. Ovechkin does seem to be slowing down a little bit, but at the same time, he's third in the league in goals. Took him 1,487 games to break Wayne Gretzky's record, which Wayne Gretzky set his record in 1,487 games. The reason I say it's more impressive that Ovi did it is because think about how many shots a basketball player takes and how many they make, especially if they're really good, right? Mm-hmm. Ovechkin, you take a shot, the only person that is really blocking you is the one that's in front of you, not really someone at the actual rim. With hockey, you have a big 6-foot-plus goalkeeper typically in the net with padding that is at least 6 inches big, that is blocking it with a net or with a glove and a stick. Like you literally have maybe that much of space to score or at least to aim at and hopefully get a puck in. It is impressive. And you're on skates, and it's quicker than basketball. It's more, actually, in my opinion, it's more physically demanding than basketball. And for that reason, you add all that together, I think the record for scoring the most goals, 895 to be exact and counting, that is much more impressive and much more difficult to do than scoring 50,000 points like LeBron has.
How many championships does he have?
Ovechkin, he's one. He has one.
Okay.
How many MVPs?
I actually don't know. I think he might have 2 or 3.
Hockey's the hardest sport to play, but
Baseball. Thank you very much.
No.
baseball.
I actually had this.
like physically demanding.
Baseball.
I think baseball.
Baseball.
No, baseball is the only sport you don't need to be natural at to get.
Baseball is the hardest sport to play.
It has the hardest
sport
action.
to play.
Baseball has the hardest thing to do, which is hit a baseball
They're on
bat.
skates in hockey.
But I don't think it's the hardest to actually do. I think
in terms of like you go home and you're like, I'm exhausted. That was so hard. Hockey is harder than baseball.
Hockey is
Like
the hardest.
Physically, sure,
Freddie
but like
Freeman, yeah, that's what I'm
game,
talking
the
about.
game,
Yeah.
like
No,
the
even the game of
entire
hockey.
The most impressive athletes are in the NBA. That was what I was trying to say. That's what I was
Correct.
trying. Yeah, like I mean, like I think the dudes who like Myles Garrett is in the NFL because he's too short to be in the NBA. And I think that like the 6'9" ripped 4'40" guys playing the NBA, that's the most talented. So I think LeBron's a much better athlete. But I think that like I think Ovi would not be more athletic than 85 NBA players. You know, but I think that hockey's more demanding, and so maybe in terms of like your life is excruciating, maybe what Ovi's done is harder than what LeBron's done. But in terms of what's impressive, I think I would give LeBron's record higher.
I would throw you one more stat. LeBron broke Kareem Abdul's in 156 games before Kareem got it. So it was like 156 games less than what Kareem got it in. Ovi did it the same amount of games as Wayne Gretzky is when he broke it, right? How much money does LeBron spend on his body a year to keep it healthy?
That's true.
1.5 million. 1.5 million to keep his body. At least that's the reported amount. I don't want to make up anything. That was the reported amount that I've heard. Ovechkin eats a Subway, like a Subway sub, hot Cheetos, and soda for 20 years, still broke the all-time record that many believed was unbreakable.
Yeah, nutrition doesn't. DK Metcalf eats candy. Nutrition isn't real.
If Ovechkin spent
that-
1.5 million, I think he would have beat the
Does
record.
that say more about the NHL as a league that a guy like that
Yes.
can break a league like break a record
don't
like
think
that?
so,
And
'cause it's more
LeBron
demanding.
has to do all that in the NBA just to break.
Like in the 50s, guys
best.
could smoke cigarettes all day, then go in the NBA and like score 30 points and stuff. Like it's kind of like hockey's, you know. It's
But
like
the
70s
fact that Ovi can do this while being the same age as LeBron, and in my opinion, LeBron, like in basketball, you get barely blown on and they go flopping. In hockey, people will get their heads taken out. A guy died like 2 years ago because a skate went flying. Like it is so much more like physicality-wise. It is literally like football on skates. That is essentially what. It's even more than football now because football has become really tough.
It's excruciatingly demanding.
It is like
I think we're all on the same page there.
Yeah, it's the quote-unquote man's game. So to be in a league where you could get your head taken off and still break a record for goals when you should be the one that they are targeting is insane.
Again, yeah, I think it's a more physically demanding thing to do what he did, but I think that LeBron's more impressive. I know we're running long. I want to hear, are y'all talking about hitting a baseball or playing defense in baseball?
This should be quick, and then
I'm talking about hitting a
But
baseball.
also, catching a major league pop fly is very
No, I think I would say on the defensive side of the ball, it's one of those things where if you practice that enough and you're that good, it clicks and then it comes easy to you, and it's not that hard on a day-to-day basis. Like I don't think like Mookie is stressing catching pop flies as much as LeBron is like getting to the lane inside.
A pop fly is probably just as tough.
I think his brain's tuned out and he can just catch a pop. I don't think he's like locked in and stuff.
I would argue a pop fly is almost just about as tough, maybe a little bit slightly tougher just because the size of the ball than catching a punt in the NFL or a kickoff.
I think
a punt in NFL, like a kickoff, is really tough.
I think it's a little bit tougher.
I would say it's a little tougher just because it's tiny.
But again, it's one of those things where it's like if you become that great, every day I think it's just kind of second nature. You can't do it instinctively.
Yeah, but the process getting there.
It's tough, but I also don't think you need natural talent to be that good at baseball.
I think
Compared to others. I don't think you do.
Well, yeah, compared to others, sure.
Just think about it. You could have,
Yeah.
and no offense to anyone, but you could have just a chubby kid sitting at first and he could bat 350.
That's
with,
not
like,
gonna
7
last.
runs.
No,
That's
but
not
like
gonna last
I think
ever.
compared to other leagues, I think it is the sport where it's like more people, if they work hard enough, can get there than like the NFL and NBA. I think. Like if you're 5'9", no matter how hard you're working, never going to the NBA. If you're 5'9" with Michael Jordan's mentality and a great swing, and you run a 4.2 40, I think you go to the MLB.
Getting to the MLB is so hard. You could spend 10 years in the minor leagues before you even touch an MLB.
That is true. And I do agree that it's hardest
I would
to hit a
argue
baseball.
that makes it easier because
You
then
could
if you're
be-
not good enough to be in the MLB at 22, if you're not good enough to be in the NFL at 22, your life is over. If you're not good enough to be in the MLB at 22, then you have an opportunity to go up in the minor leagues.
It's just harder getting there.
I don't know. I just think you have to be Superman to be able to actually get to the minor leagues or to any sport
Yeah,
being
being a
5'3" like
pro-
Muggsy
yeah.
Bogues. But speaking of Superman,
What?
we have another
What a
topic.
transition.
I was hoping. I was trying to pull something. So we're going to the next topic called One for the Mind. We can always discuss every other topic later off the show. But this is Be For Real, which means we do not do sports all the time. We just had a fun little topic right now. So for the mind, one for the mind, our question today is, would the world be better with a real-life Superman? That is the question. I have my answer.
Which government would kill him to figure out what's making him so special? That's the
North Korea.
He's not making it. I think
I can go first.
Us?
we need the running, bro.
We would probably be able to catch him quicker. We have more resources.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even write down my answer.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Someone else go first. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with yes. The only reason I would say no is that it would bring more it would bring out more criminals.
Oh, would it?
That would.
It'd be
Like
less criminals.
it's like I'm thinking about like Marvel, like the Avengers. The only reason that like there were villains like that were because the Avengers were there.
No, I think those villains were like stupidly impressive. Like I think I don't think anyone actually in real life could. I think Superman would very easily deal with criminals.
No, not like criminals, not like city criminals, like actually like government like criminals, like stuff like that.
I think I'll go to mine in a second. Or actually, I can go to mine now.
You can sit up
Yeah,
if you
go
want.
to yours
I
now.
said no. Here's my thought. I'm thinking geopolitically because I think.
What?
No, yeah, because like, okay, so like think about this. Would you want a nuke that could blow up the entire world to exist? Like, would you want that to exist as a
No.
thing? Okay, so Superman's essentially that.
Superman's not a nuke.
He's essentially a weapon that could take
be.
out the entire world.
But why
He does have
would
his
he?
mind.
So if Superman's mentality,
Superman is good.
if Superman is good, okay?
Not a nuke is bad.
I know, I understand that. If Superman is always does the right thing, and his mentality is, I live to make sure there's peace in the world. Okay, so I want to make sure these countries get along, and they're never fighting. Superman now controls every single political issue in terms of like, this country's being oppressed. Do we do something about it? This country's dealing with this country. Do something about it? There's this relationship. Superman makes all those calls, makes all those decisions, unless another country buys him out and takes over the world. And that feels like, do I want to put the world in the hands of one man? Yeah, I changed my mind. Yes, let's do that. That's Superman, yeah. So so like Israel, Palestine, Superman decides that. Russia, Ukraine, Superman decides.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is so
like-
you. You would absolutely do this.
This is perfect. Yes, yeah. I changed it to yes. Superman should exist. Absolutely. There we go.
See, I thought we were together, and then
sorry,
you jumped
man.
from it. I'm saying no, and the reason I say no is very similar to why you were trying to argue with Caden about villains and criminals. My thing is that I believe it'll actually make people want to be a criminal so that they could say they got caught by Superman. Think about the age of electronics. Imagine someone gets on there. We've seen people do stupider stuff for less.
Oh, people would make some crazy AI something to take them down.
No, I mean, like, I'm just saying, they wouldn't want to catch him. They would want to be caught by him. Like, think about the stupidest stuff people have done today. They climb light poles because we win. Like, that is so stupid, and the reason they do it is to get media attention. Now, imagine if someone comes up and they go, I'm going to go break into somewhere, do a robbery, kill someone, whatever the case is, and then I'm going to get caught by Superman, post it real quick on my way to jail, or whatever the case is, or get like a picture, and all of a sudden it's in the newspaper, and now all of a sudden they get notoriety. They're known as the guy who did such and such to be pictured with Superman, and more people would do it. So they get famous. It's the hunger of trying to get famous quickly, like TikTok or like.
But I just think that,
and I love
like,
Superman.
the good that a Superman could bring would outweigh that. In my opinion.
I don't know. I think one man versus 7 billion people, and let's just say
all 7 billion are.
let's say a fourth of them try to be a villain, right?
That's a lot.
I think we're talking about people that are suicidal and want to be famous. Like because Superman would kill everyone.
It's like it'll get to a point where people are doing this.
I think Superman would just be knocking out like people on heavy drugs that just decide they want to go kill Superman. Like I think that would be most of his day.
People would be doing that for fame, and then the government or whoever would catch on, and they'd be like, they wouldn't give them that fame anymore after, like, very quickly.
They would die within like 5 seconds of deciding they want to catch Superman.
They'll realize that people are only trying to fight him to get famous, and they wouldn't let that happen.
But Superman wouldn't kill someone for it. He would just catch him.
He wouldn't kill if he's.
I don't think he would kill.
Are we making Superman in real life, or are we taking movie Superman, where like the guy always gets away at the end? You know, like are we doing
it's a real life Superman, so it's like Superman in real life.
Yeah, so like the dude always is gonna get away at the end. It's like, I mean, I think there's.
I picture it as Superman in real life is now like real. Like that's where he is. He's just like he's up there flying, and you're like, oh shoot.
Which superhero would y'all, like, out of all of them, would you want to have on this earth?
Spider-Man. No, Iron Man. Iron Man could happen. That's why I love Iron Man.
Iron Man's just a guy.
Iron Man's my favorite because
he's a suit of armor.
No, because he's realistic. You can Iron Man the movie, like you can make an Iron Man movie that's not unrealistic at all and is not that's like nonfiction type. Like Iron Man can happen. Yeah. It can totally happen.
Black Panther because he's just badass.
Black Panther would be sick.
Yeah, badass.
Wakanda. Anyway, what was your answer to the original?
My answer is an astounding no.
You went from yes-ish to no-ish to no.
Yeah, I went from yes-ish because
open-minded.
No, I was yes-ish and then no-ish because I thought we were electing a person to be Superman, but we are not doing that. So I am just a straight no.
Why?
Who would you elect?
Who would be?
You're gonna say Donald Trump.
No, I'm not. Oh God, Skybri.
Henry Cavill.
Ben Rice.
Henry Cavill.
Shout out Ben Rice. Shout out Touching All Bases.
Keanu Reeves. I'm done. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, there's so many jobs that would be lost, and there's so many people that would go crazy.
Would Superman do a bunch of jobs?
Crazy?
No, he's gonna save. He's gonna save the police academies and all. Oh, not police academies, but like he would.
I just think people going crazy.
People would go crazy in the ways where they would, like Brian said it, they would riot the streets and want to get arrested by Superman. I'm not gonna say that I would want to, but I can see the intrigue behind wanting to meet Superman.
The best comparison to this would be Joker movie, end of it. When all of a sudden the villain came out and really connected with people and they go crazy. That's what I can picture, except they wouldn't be connecting to Superman. They'd be like, I want to meet him, or I want to go crazy. I don't have my job anymore. I need to do something. I'm bored. And they all just start riding the street.
Also, what's the point of money if you have a Superman that decides everything and gets everything to everyone? What's the point of money?
Is that a good or bad thing? Or what's the point of like power and control in a country?
What's the point of economics? What's the point of politics? What's the point of any of that?
There's a lot of things in politics besides fighting.
It's such a dramatic change that I don't think the people would be able to handle it, and everyone would go crazy.
Yeah, I don't think we deserve Superman, I think is what you're saying. Correct. I'm in a religion class, and there's one.
Same.
This will be the last comment, and then
I got you.
I'll let you go.
There's a religion that does not like things that are as powerful as like God. You know, that have that, like that's not cool. They will try to neutralize that always. I think you'd have a lot of people going after him and stuff. I think, you know, one of the biggest religions out there and stuff. Maybe they'll leave other people alone. Maybe it's not a bad thing because
people might not
take
believe
care of them. You know, but yeah, I think that he'd be getting a lot of heat from a certain group of people.
People might not believe. They might think it's AI. All of a sudden, they're like, "Let me prove to you he's not real." Stuff.
If
like
we were born with a Superman and not him just dropped in the world right now, I feel like it'd be
Yeah,
way
we
better.
would. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think we deserve.
I think we would trap
I
him.
like Drew's take. I think I don't. We
If
don't
he was
deserve
born,
it.
I think we'd
Human
trap
beings
him.
don't deserve Superman.
We'd trap him because we wouldn't believe him. But speaking of believe, we have our next segment up.
wow.
Believe it or not. One of my favorites. We haven't done it in a while. This one is fun. We have 4 questions, 4 statements, and I'm going to ask each of you, and you each have to tell me whether you believe it is true or whether you're not.
Got you.
Or whether you don't. You
Should I
think
go
it's-
1, 2, 3, 4? Or are we going like
We're going one at a time. One at a time. You just say
Oh, I didn't know
yes
because like
or
time
no.
limit or like.
No, this is a quick segment.
Yeah, this is not going to be too long, but it's like I'm going to ask you the
Sure,
question.
question.
It's going to be you either say yes or no. Like, yes, I believe it. No, I don't
Gotcha.
believe it.
Okay.
And that's what it's going to
Cool.
be. So going on to the first question, we have Australia is wider than the moon.
No.
You don't believe it's true?
No. Australia. The moon's like a quarter of Earth, and Australia isn't a quarter of Earth.
Anyone else? It's like- I'm gonna let you guys go like a quick like yes, no.
No.
No?
I mean, I back Caden.
The way y'all are talking about it, I mean, the way you're talking about it makes me want to say yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too. I'm a
But
little-
my gut, like, my initial was like no.
Well, these could very well be false. It's a list of 167 random fun facts that will make you hit the hit of every party. I don't know.
Oh, it's random fun facts,
Yeah.
and I would guess yes, it is.
Cosmopolitan. Now, granted, I could change the statement. So this is from the Cosmopolitan.
got you.
I could change these statements because some of these are changed.
I got you. Okay, then I'm sticking with it now.
Well, according to them, they say it is true. Australia is wider than the moon. The moon is 3,400 kilometers in diameter, while Australia's diameter from east to west is almost 4,000.
Diameter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is it's probably like a few hundred kilometers
That's
bigger.
shocking. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to me too, because I'm like, that means that the moon's a lot smaller than I thought it was.
Yeah. So you could drive through the moon, faster than you could get through Australia.
You could drive. You could drive probably from side to side.
Traffic wouldn't be bad either.
Oh, that's true. No traffic on the
No gravity either.
moon. Yeah, I don't think
We'd all
can
be
get
like
far up
6'5". We'd all be in the NBA.
there.
But moving on to the next statement, we have another one. Is this statement, do you believe it or do you not believe it? Chainsaws were originally made to cut food.
Oh, I think I've heard this. I think yes. I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, I think I've heard this.
C.
I'll say yes.
It sounds stupid. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Just because I want to be.
You all said no, right? The first time? The first time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all have 0 points. I'm going to keep the point, little thing.
Okay.
Next one, yes, no, yes?
Yep.
Drew, you're the first one with the point. It is false. Chainsaws were not originally made to cut food, nor were they originally made to cut wood. They were actually originally made for childbirth.
Oh.
I will not explain too much, but it was developed to make it easier to give birth.
Word.
In Scotland in the late 18th century.
Oh,
They really didn't get women at that time.
No, but we can skip a part. It could have been small too. Like they're big now, but it could have been like a smaller version that was just like a surgery tool. If it makes it feel any better.
I feel way better. Thank you. Phew. I was so
They
worried.
could use it for other stuff, but it's originally made for childbirth. So we will skip on to the next one, so that hopefully this one can bring you a little bit more joy.
The opposite of my instinct on this one now. Over
Yes.
2.
Yeah, right.
So 0 for 2, 1 for 2, 0 for 2. The third statement we have for believe it or not. Do you believe this is true or do you not? Ketchup was once sold as medicine.
Again, I swear I've heard this before, so I'm gonna say no. No, you know what? I'm gonna say yes. I really am confident about this. It's yes.
No.
Was
once sold as medicine.
it's basically like ketchup was sold as medicine.
Was sold as medicine.
This sounds very, very possible.
This sounds so real.
It sounds like the cigarette dilemma.
yeah.
when
They used to
cigarettes
give
were-
cigarettes in the hospital. They would,
Yeah,
like,
in the
give
hospitals.
cigarettes. Yeah. Coca-Cola had
What-
cocaine in it.
What proof would ketchup have? Well, like what
Yeah,
benefits
what-
would it have?
I don't know.
Tomatoes?
The people were just stupid. Like, yeah. We went from,
What
like,
proof would cigarettes
everything
have?
was black magic, and then it was like, oh, it's not black magic. Let's try a bunch of weird things, and then ketchup might have been one of them.
Okay.
That's kind
So
of
we have
modern medicine.
yes, yes, no.
I'm saying yes.
Kaden, I'd like to congratulate you on your first
Oh
point.
my gosh.
You're really bad at
It is true.
Super
Ketchup
duper.
was sold as medicine at one time. The condiment was prescribed and sold to people suffering from indigestion back in 1834.
Oh, that makes
I
a lot
wouldn't
of
be
sense.
taking that. That's
I
disgusting.
don't know how it helped, but that is what the clip they put in.
Dude, if someone just told me you have indigestion, oh, ketchup helps with that, I would probably believe that. I'd probably try
I
it.
wouldn't. I would
Like,
not.
you believe
Ketchup?
everything.
No.
You believe that there was a rally on strength of schedule on college.
It could have been something with the
about
That was really funny.
It could have been something about maybe vinegar. something that calmed the stomach, indigestion, or I guess indigestion is more of like how it flows through, and vinegar kind of opens up or something like that. I don't know. But moving on to the fourth and final, believe it or not, of this segment, of this episode actually, is it's illegal. Now, it's going to be a little bit different here, so I'm going to explain it. It's illegal to own more than 2 guinea pigs in Switzerland. Do you believe the statement, or do you not believe the statement?
I know this
Yes.
one. I'm going to lose to Drew. I should just flip Drew. I'm so confident that this one, I know.
So you believe that statement is true, that it's illegal to own more than 2 guinea pigs in
It's
Switzerland?
illegal to own less than 2 guinea pigs in Switzerland.
You guys believe? So what's your thing?
I think
You say that statement is wrong?
I think it's illegal to own less than 2 guinea pigs.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to go for 4.
You went 0 for 4.
So I'm out.
It
Great
says
episode.
They're codependent.
it's illegal to own just 1 guinea pig in Switzerland.
I got it. That's 2
Just
points.
one.
I beat Drew. I
I'm
tied
out.
Drew.
You have to own at least 1,
Or at least 2.
or at least 2,
didn't
because they
time me.
can't go.
I went 3 for 4.
You went 3 for 4.
I went 3 for 4.
Actually, get 2 points.
Because I said it's illegal to own less than 2. I was joking. You guys didn't have to dissect.
My bad. I didn't hear you. But it's illegal to own just 1 guinea pig in Switzerland, so only 1, no more than 1. And the reason they
I
said
made
this,
myself a crown.
the reason they said this, it's considered animal abuse because they're social beings and get lonely.
Shut up.
That's why they can't own just 1.
They're a bunch of losers.
They're communists. That's communist.
So in the final standings, we have Drew
Gang, gang.
in first, our lovely winner.
We're wrapping up.
Congratulations. No voice, but definitely a brain. We have,
thank you.
or at least like intuition, not a brain.
Or
Caden,
luck.
2 for 4. Riley, 0 for 4.
There's no
Better luck
brain
next
over there.
time.
Nothing going on in here.
Hopefully in round 2, you guys can see it.
Sorry, I don't know random fun facts.
Hey, but you know, there's 167 more. We will
I'll
pass by
study.
a lot more
I'm gonna
in this.
study.
Maybe this segment stays, maybe
I'm
this
gonna
doesn't.
study that.
But
160.
Awesome.
as for now, that is it for our episode. Thank you guys so much for sticking if you have stayed until now. As always, Riley, Drew, Caden, and myself, Brian, we will see you next time. And until then, stay real.